Chairman, I think the Chair and the Manager of HFC have in fact said really what needed to be said. Except I'd like to essentially say that government is very much committed to ensuring that food security is maintained for us. And rice, as you know, is a very staple diet. Most people in Fiji actually eat rice. However, we import more rice than we actually consume. We import more rice than what we actually produce. So in other words, we consume a lot more rice. So whenever you have such a situation, it means that there is an opportunity for local producers. And that obviously is why government is very much interested in ensuring that Fiji Rice is actually a success. It's very interesting, a lot of people don't realize, but what they say, semantics does matter. Only a few years ago, this company was called Rewa Rice. But the bulk of the rice was actually produced in Vanuatu. And there was no Rewa in sight. So this is why we call it Fiji Rice, to give it that brand name, and obviously to ensure that all farmers who contribute to the company actually have a sense of affinity with it. As the Chair highlighted, of course, this warehouse has been funded by government or partially funded by government, and we provide, in this year's budget, for example, we have $800,000 allocated that we pay directly to the farmers through Fiji Rice Limited in terms of the purchase of the paddy. COVID-19, of course, is with us. It's with us in the sense it's a global phenomenon. The pandemic is around us. However, Fiji is, of course, very lucky in the sense that we don't have any active cases of COVID-19 in the community. We are able to sit around here like this. If you look at, you switch on the television sets, people are walking around with masks. People aren't allowed to gather around as we are gathering today. And of course, that has been because of the fact that we have been very vigilant as a government. We have ensured and to take some strict measures, continue to adhere to those health measures. We had the Vanuatu, Soa, and other places in Viti Levu actually shut down for quarantine reasons, and of course that has paid off. And I think that is something we need to always be cognizant of. Similarly, we need to be cognizant of the fact that because of the pandemic, many dynamics in the world actually has changed now. Countries that used to trade quite freely, people's movement that was very free, has in fact been brought to a halt or to a stop. And it has also made a lot of people realize that we need to become self-sufficient in many ways. This is why in this year's budget post-COVID, we have the Ministry of Agriculture, which is one of the few ministries that actually has an increase in the budgetary allocation, because food security, again, I come back to it, is very, very important. The collaboration with HFC and hopefully also collaboration with FDB will be of great assistance to the farmers. And for decades, I think in Fiji overall, the farming sector has been neglected by mainstream commercial banks. If you look at the portfolio of most of the commercial banks, there are very little lending to agriculture. And of course, we need to be able to have that increased. The fact that government has now, with the amendment of the laws, for those people who lease land, they can lease land now up to 99 years for agricultural purposes, is of help, can be used as collateral if in the future, for example, the banks want to use the land as collateral, they can actually use it as collateral. But most definitely we would work together with Fiji Rice and talk with the various banks to ensure that that sort of collaboration is critically important and in fact does take place. I would like to actually thank HFC, because HFC is the only bank in Fiji at the moment, apart from FDB, which is a statutory entity, a mainstream commercial bank that's 100% Fijian owned. Those of you who know, we used to have a National Bank of Fiji, but we know what happened to that. But the HFC is 100% Fijian owned, so it's good to see that a 100% Fijian owned bank is actually working with our Fijian farmers to ensure that you're able to have more input into your farms. So thank you everybody for being here. We'd love to have a discussion with you, and we can have some quick discussions after this with the farmers if there's any issues they want to raise. But I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank the chairman of Fiji Rice in particular. He has brought a lot of energy into this company. He has also brought about new ways of looking at things, new ideas, together with the CEO and the rest of the team. I'd like to thank them for that. And we all need to take a very collaborative and partnership approach in respect of improving yields and ensuring the farmers actually see rice production as a viable proposition for sustainable livelihoods. Thank you very much.